Today, we embark on a journey into the life of Major Amit and his wife, Shailja. This is a story about a couple who appeared to have it all: a successful career, a loving family, and an unbreakable bond. It is a tale that unravels the dark undercurrents of obsession, betrayal, and the dangerous secrets that led to an unthinkable tragedy. New Delhi is known for its sprawling markets, iconic landmarks like the Red Fort, and a culture that celebrates diversity. Within this vibrant metropolis lies a quieter yet significant area, the Delhi Cantonment. Nestled amidst the city's chaos, the Cantonment is a well-organized and serene enclave that holds a special place in the hearts of those connected to the armed forces. Spread across lush greenery and dotted with colonial-era buildings, it serves as a pivotal location for India's defence operations, housing military establishments for the Indian Army, Air Force, and other vital defence institutions. While the rest of Delhi thrives on its chaotic and fast-paced energy, the Cantonment stands as a symbol of resilience, unity, and commitment, embodying the spirit of those who dedicate their lives to protecting the nation. On a hot and sultry afternoon of June 23, 2018, the calm of Delhi Cantonment was shattered by a gruesome discovery. In a secluded corner near the bustling Cantt Metro Station, amidst the backdrop of a typically peaceful day, a tragedy unfolded. A passerby, hurrying along the shadowed alley, stumbled upon a sight that would haunt the city's memory for years to come. A young woman lying motionless on the ground, her body drenched in blood. Her face bore a look of terror, frozen in her final moments, and her neck showed a deep slash that made it clear this was no accident. Blood pooled around her, staining the ground with the grim evidence of violence. When the police first arrived at the scene near Cantt Metro Station, their initial assumption leaned towards a hit-and-run incident, a tragedy of chance rather than intent. The location, though secluded, wasn't far from the bustling roads of Delhi Cantonment, where vehicular mishaps weren't unheard of. The young woman's body, lying lifeless on the blood-streaked ground, could have easily been mistaken for the victim of reckless driving. However, as the officers began their preliminary assessment, small details began to unsettle this theory. The position of the body, the absence of tyre marks nearby, and the eerie silence of the alley didn't align with the chaos usually associated with a hit-and-run. The situation grew even more suspicious when forensic experts arrived, their trained eyes scrutinizing every inch of the scene. As they carefully examined the body, the injuries were far too deliberate, too brutal to be the result of a mere accident. The deep, savage wound across her neck was unmistakably inflicted with intent, not by the blunt impact of a vehicle. The precision of the cut suggested the use of a sharp weapon, and its severity indicated a brutal level of force and determination. Further analysis of the surrounding area revealed no signs of a struggle that one might expect if the victim had been struck and thrown by a speeding car. Instead, there were faint traces of scuffle marks on the ground, footprints leading away from the scene, and a calculated lack of evidence suggesting a premeditated act. This was no accident. It wasn't the tragic end of an unlucky pedestrian, but the deliberate, violent act of a murderer. The idea that someone had staged the scene to resemble a hit-and-run, perhaps to mislead the investigation, only added another layer of complexity to the case. With this revelation, the nature of the investigation changed dramatically. The forensic team intensified their efforts, meticulously combing through the area for clues that might reveal the identity of the perpetrator. Meanwhile, detectives turned their focus to uncovering who this young woman was and why she had become the target of such a heinous act. The victim's condition presented an immediate challenge for the investigators. Her face was unrecognizable, marred by injuries that obscured her identity. Adding to the mystery, there were no personal belongings found nearby. No wallet, no phone, not even a scrap of paper that might offer a clue about who she was. The pockets of her clothing were empty, as though someone had deliberately stripped her of anything that could reveal her name or background. For the police, this was a daunting starting point. Without identification, the investigation was like searching for a needle in a haystack. The lifeless body offered no immediate answers, only grim questions about the life it once held and the violent end it had met. The officers scoured the area surrounding the crime scene, hoping to find something, anything, that might point them in the right direction. They examined every inch of the alley for discarded belongings, a misplaced ID, or even a dropped phone that might have belonged to the victim. Yet their search turned up nothing. Meanwhile, forensic experts began their work in the hope that science might succeed where initial efforts had failed. They collected DNA samples, fingerprints, and other biological evidence from the victim, hoping that these could be matched against national databases. To crack the case, photographs of the victim were circulated to police stations and missing persons units across Delhi. Every passing hour intensified the urgency. Then a breakthrough came in the form of a distraught man entering the Narai police station to file a missing person report for his wife. The man was Major Amit Deddy, an officer in the Indian Army, and his wife, Shailja Deddy, had been missing since the morning. Her phone had been switched off and none of their friends or relatives had seen her. The police showed him the photograph of the body they had discovered. Amit's reaction was immediate and tragic. He identified the woman as his wife, Shailja. Shailja was a devoted wife and mother to their 6-year-old child and also a woman of grace and beauty who had participated in numerous pageants. Her death sent ripples of shock and grief through their close-knit family and community. As Amit recounted the events of the day, he revealed that Shailja had been receiving treatment for a foot injury at the Army hospital in Delhi. She often visited the hospital for physiotherapy, and on that fateful day, her driver had gone to pick her up as usual. But the hospital staff informed him that Shailja hadn't arrived for her appointment. Panic-stricken, Amit had tried calling her repeatedly, but her phone remained switched off. His search among friends and family yielded no answers, pushing him to report her missing, a decision that led him to the truth about her demise. The police wasted no time in launching an intensive investigation. When asked about potential suspects, Major Amit mentioned a disturbing name: Major Nikhil, a colleague stationed in Meerut, about 65 kilometers from Delhi. Nikhil, Amit revealed, had developed an unhealthy obsession with Shailja, despite being warned to stay away from her. The police turned their focus to Nikhil, uncovering troubling details about his movements. CCTV footage from the Army hospital revealed Shailja interacting with a silver Honda City, identified as Nikhil's car, before entering it willingly. Phone records confirmed multiple calls exchanged between Nikhil and Shailja that day. The breakthrough came when police traced Shailja's phone signals, which had been deactivated and discarded in a nearby garbage bin. Using digital footprints, the forensic team pieced together Nikhil's involvement, along with CCTV footage of his whereabouts on the fateful day. When Nikhil was arrested, he initially denied all charges. He claimed the entire incident was accidental, a bizarre story about losing control of his car and panicking. But forensic evidence, coupled with witness statements, painted a grim picture. Witnesses in the area saw a silver Honda speeding away from the crime scene, but they couldn't identify the driver. Major Amit's grief turned into rage as he faced the man responsible for the untimely demise of his wife. The trial exposed Nikhil's obsession, his jealousy, and his manipulative tactics. He had meticulously planned every detail, from the staging of the accident to the destruction of evidence. Nikhil had harbored an obsessive infatuation with Shailja ever since meeting her through a meet in 2015 during their posting in Nagaland. Over the years, his obsession escalated to relentless phone calls, secret meetings, and even video chats. He had repeatedly urged Shailja to leave her husband and marry him, a proposal she firmly rejected. On June 23rd, consumed by rage and desperation, Nikhil picked Shailja up under the guise of a routine meeting. He drove her to a secluded spot near Cantt Metro Station where he once again pressed her to divorce Amit. When she refused, the argument turned violent. In a fit of uncontrollable rage, Nikhil stabbed her multiple times, slashing her neck with brutal precision. To cover his crime, he staged the scene to look like an accident, dragging her body with his car and disfiguring her face. But his careful planning was no match for the relentless pursuit of justice by the Delhi police. Forensic evidence, including bloodstains in his car and search history on his devices, detailing methods of committing a crime, sealed Nikhil's fate. It wasn't just about murder. It was a portrayal of obsessive love turned into a brutal crime. The obsession consumed Nikhil, making him blind to morality, empathy, and the consequences of his actions. Today, Major Amit continues to mourn the loss of his beloved wife. The legal battle continues, with justice slowly being served for Shailja Dubey, a beautiful soul who became a victim of an unhealthy obsession. This story serves as a somber reminder of the dangers of obsessive behavior and the devastating consequences it can lead to. Let's hope that justice prevails for Shailja and that her story becomes a lesson to society about the importance of safeguarding love, respect, and human dignity. If you want to explore more intriguing narratives, mysteries, and tales of human resilience, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon to stay updated every time we post new content. Your support keeps us motivated to bring you the stories that matter. Love the content we create? Help us keep this channel alive and thriving by making a donation.